Happy Facebook Live Wednesday. It's Teachers Appreciation Week, and my Na'ali'a classmate, Jan Zagaro, I ordered a graduation lei for one of my friend's sons, and she made this haku for me. And I don't really go anywhere, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear this for my Facebook Live Wednesday, possibly on Mother's Day. Not sure what I'm going to do, but I thought, you know what? We need to honor ourselves as mothers, right? This Sunday is Mother's Day. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And I don't know if any of you saw my little, one of my many stories, but I said, you know, hey, George, the first teacher, right, your child has is their dad, their mom. I mean, you are your child's first teacher. You have so much influence, so much opportunities, right, to connect with your child. So today's Facebook Live Wednesday, the topic I wanted to do last Wednesday, but because the birthday girl wanted to do a fun topic, we decided to do her childhood memories and what she thought of me. I had the most views ever, you guys, and I decided to be brave and posted on LinkedIn, had a lot of positive comments, and I was vulnerable and open where, put myself out there, possibly being judged, having her out of wedlock, and all that wonderful judgment stuff that, it's only in our minds. We really need to teach our children not to care what other people think, to own our journey, be authentic, and just be there for ourselves, right? Because if you don't teach your kids the importance of being there, right, for themselves, who will they rely on? Think about that. So I'm going to start off with a haiku that I thought of this morning when I took my dogs out. So what do you think of this? Be there for your child. Stop lecturing. Just listen. Connect more. Criticize less. As I, start lecturing now, my husband, as you know, Thomas Gibson, has kidney stones, and we are praying on that. And I immediately go into the mother, I am going to heal you. I'm going to share all these homeopathic remedies, and I'm going to tell you what not to eat. So then I read him my haiku, and I said, you know what? I think you should. And I stopped myself, and I said, I'm just not going to lecture. And I'm going to listen, not judge, and know that, whatever you eat will be fine. So he proceeded to, yes, this is third time, George. It is painful, painful, painful. Similar to apparently childbirth. So I feel for him. But Facebook Live must go on, right? How do you get kids to listen? Well, number one, build a strong relationship with your child. This involves, like I said earlier, less lecturing and more listening. George said, tell me about it. Yeah, kidney stones, I don't, it's just, I'm speechless because it is really hard. And he's, working his regular 16-hour days. Hey, Kaylani. Oh my gosh, thanks for joining. How do you get kids to listen? I was just talking, Kaylani, about, just building a strong relationship, right? Connect before you criticize, number one. Match your expectations to your child's emotional level. So sometimes we end up thinking that they're able to have that mental maturity. And as we know, or I'm not sure if I keep sharing this with my kids, that your brain is not mature. Well, women in their early 20s, men in their mid-20s, and a lot of times, depending on your experiences, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of just struggles, and it affects the way that we process struggles, the way that we handle life's challenges. So if you are speaking to your child thinking, and that's what I do, right? I tend to share my life lessons, and then my younger one just looks at me and says something like, and how does this affect me? Or how does this pertain to me? And I own it now. I apologize. And I say, I really don't know what to say. but I know that it is very hard when you go through struggles, right? And then you don't want to add, even though I'm so tempted, when you decide to procrastinate, when you decide to not, when you don't make wise choices. I've decided to stop that, and I just say, years from now, you're going to look back and you don't see it now, but this is going to be an amazing, like, growth experience. And then she says, can I have a hug? My younger one can give like a 5-minute hug that feels like half an hour. So all of us just like sit there, and then she puts her whole body weight on my shoulders, and I'm just like, and before I'd say, Chelsea, I can't breathe, or Chelsea, it wasn't a connecting moment. So last night, she decided to wait a little longer to do, 16 modules of math. And, she's self-criticizing. And I said, you know what? I don't know if you get, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I just, I find myself criticizing. You hear mom criticize myself, and, I'm so hard on myself. I should have done this. Why didn't I know that? Instead of being kind to ourselves, right? Because stress, just the demand to do the best that we can do sometimes isn't there. So I said, why do you feel, what's causing the stress? Because everyone has done the assignment but me. Everyone is caught up. And I said, that's comparing. And I do the same thing. When we compare, it's the most damaging thing we can do to our self-esteem. And if there's one thing we can, help our kids to listen, is be there and maybe just remind them whenever, and ask them, so what's going on? And she was saying, I wasted my first semester's tuition. And I said, no money invested in education is a waste. And I share my story. I had registered for UH, University of Hawaii. And the day before, I told my dad, you know what? I decided I'm not going. My dad did not lecture. My dad didn't say anything. And I was just shocked. And I don't even know, till this day, I don't know if he got a refund, but I decided to do nothing. I did not work. I did not socialize. I did my minimal household chores they gave me, and I watched like 16 hours of TV. Woke up at 2 p.m. I did this for about a year and a half. And then I decided the next year I enrolled at UH. And then I got a heartbreak, right? And my dad just listened to me not really speaking when he asked me what was going on. I said, I don't know, but I just don't want to do anything. And I think it was the pressure of getting straight A's in high school, the pressure and the comparison and the expectations, the demands that we put on ourselves. Sometimes parents don't realize, we think that, we're motivating them. You got to get good grades so you can get into a good college. You got to stop messing around, The pandemic has made parents feel super stressed because it's, you still have to submit those college applications. You still have to do, well, you think you have to do, your checklist of senior things that you have to do. So I was hired to help someone, an only child, a senior, one of my former students. I tutored from 3rd grade through 10th grade. And the parents wanted him to be, well, he said, yeah, I'm going to be an engineer or a doctor. And I said, whose dream is this? Well, my mom and dad feel that, I should be an engineer or a doctor. And I said, is that your dream or their dream? And he paused and he said, I don't know. So I proceed to tell him that grades don't really matter. And, the dad is giving me his resume and all of the accolades and the awards. And when he leaves, I explained that grades don't matter. He said, can you talk to my dad about this? Or my parents? And I said, I can't convince your parents to change your thought process, but I can talk to you, and I wanted to hear what his belief system was, what he wanted, and he didn't know. And I thought, if we don't listen to our child, we we treat them like we're the puppeteer. And I always told my children that don't let any boy be your puppeteer. And I thought, you know what? As parents, I'm sure I treated them as a puppeteer. Try your best in school, grades. don't define you. I kept saying that grades don't define you, but then if there was an F or a D, I would do my little motivational speech, or what's going on? Are you practicing time management? Are you fill in the blank? And with my youngest, sometimes that would just shut her down, and she would decide, I'm going to just stop. Yeah, literally just stop. And then I would feel guilty, and then she would express her just what she's going through. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. And, I would say, well, and that's why, Papa taught me persevere, and Papa taught me. And then I realized I'm just adding to the pressure instead of really listening. So, when you match your expectations to where your child is, you really, and this is so hard, you're not putting your expectations on them. So you see them where they're at, not where you want them to be. That's a big one, because we all want to see our children be successful. We always want our children to make what we think are the best decisions. Do we really know? I'm finally saying, you know what? I don't really know. I think sometimes, that this matters, but does it really? And then, of course, I get asked, but you're the mom, or what should I do? And I'm realizing, you know what? I don't know, and I don't want to tell them one decision, and then it comes back to me, why did you tell me to do this? I think this is the worst thing that I could have ever done, right? So as parents, allow them to mess up. That's one of the things, but don't shame them to do what you think they should do. And I've been hearing, are you blind, or are you using your head? Are you thinking? Wait a minute, seriously? I hear that a lot, and then I stop myself. So right when you feel that tensed up feeling where you think, oh my gosh, my child is about to make the biggest mistake, maybe get involved with the wrong boy, maybe deciding, I don't know, to drop out of school, right? I have one of the parents, straight A student, full ride through her dad's GI Bill, and she's taking a break, but she doesn't know whether, she's realizing or thinking, do you really need a college education to succeed, right? A lot of these kids are realizing, hey, I can become a success without a college degree. And so I told my journey. I shared my journey. It took me 7 years to graduate. And the mom asked me, do you regret it? And I said, I don't regret it, because I don't think I was mentally there. So then I look at both of my daughters, and the stress they put on themselves, the questions that they ask me. And now I'm realizing, if you listen, it's so much less stressful, because you don't have to come up with the answer, right? You don't. You listen, you observe, you let them become aware, and you ask them, well, what do you think you should do? I have no idea. And then I've been saying, well, I'm learning there is no right or wrong, right? They're just experiences that we go through in life, and they're just learning lessons. It's never, ever a mistake, right? It's never a mistake. It's like the journey, or the road less traveled. If you want to take one route, it doesn't mean that the other route is wrong or right. So there's no judgment. I was talking to a post-PTSD coach. She coaches veterans and helps them heal. And she says, we really need to stop attaching meaning to our feelings, because feelings are what it is. Our situation is it bad or good? It's neither, but we put that meaning on it. So if we learn to listen more and trust more and honor your child's feelings, I just took some notes. Allow your kids too to feel safe to share. Because sometimes I'll ask kids, did you tell your parents? They're like, no way. You have no idea the wrath I'll take if I share what I'm debating, or I'm not sure. No. So I say, well, share it with me. And I do, keep it confidential, even though, the parents pay me. But these children need a safe zone to share. Otherwise, they walk through life feeling that they should do what you tell them to. And parents are, well, depending on your child, if they're people pleasing, if they're just not sure, but every child, well, I shouldn't say every, but most children want to know what you're thinking. And then they kind of, think about it, they marinate, and they think, okay, what should I do, right? two choices. Do I listen to my parents, or do I say, no, my parents are wrong? Either way, though, 9 out of 10 times, or maybe 100% of the time, we share what we think is right. Lately, Chelsea, I don't know if I shared, she failed her road test 3 times. Feels like a failure. And I'm sharing how, some people, there's milestones that put pressure on us. And if we listen to those milestones, we will constantly compare, feel incompetent, and sometimes just lose motivation. Those of you who've been on my journey, George has been there, that depression kicks in. And for me, it just makes me drop. And a lot of you have been so supportive. You check in, you give me some advice, get into yoga. George will say, do what you love. And I hope to see you back. No pressure. Only had a couple of people who, why aren't you, responding to my texts or my posts? But 99% of you, super thoughtful, super just compassionate. And I thought, you know what? That's what our kids need. They need more compassion than criticism. And if, it says, right, they are mindful of their grades, right? They know what they should do, what they shouldn't do. So why are we putting on that extra stress on them? Why, right? So don't mindlessly dictate. I realized that I did mindlessly dictate because I thought as a mom, I knew better. And if they did what my formula for success, then everything would go smoothly. So when things don't go smoothly, when you have knots in your stomach and you think, oh my gosh, this child is driving me crazy, right? No matter if it is I am a former special ed teacher. So whether it's autism, whether it's, ADHD, whether it is, I had a child with intermittent explosive disorder. And no matter what it is, release control of what you can't control it, right? I know a lot of you worry. I have a friend, right, who a couple of friends who worry what's going to happen to my child after I'm gone. And if you worry and worry and worry, you won't be present to enjoy them fully in the moment because your mind is going to be in the future. Your child can sense that. Our children are just connected to us, I believe. Even, you men don't have that umbilical cord, but your child, especially the primary parent, usually you have 2, but in many cases, there could be 1, and your child is connected, and they know when you're worried. They might not show it, if you have a child and they're 29, but their mental capacity is 18 months. Babies can sense when you're stressed, even in utero. They can sense if you're stressed, and that baby will grow in your tummy feeling that stress. So they always tell moms, right, really take time to relax, to just really send just messages of hope and peace and compassion. Sorry, I'm off task, but don't treat them like puppets. Give them space to resist so they don't persist. I just added that don't persist because we all know if we keep persisting, what happens? They keep resisting. And we think, I'm the mom, you listen to me. I'm the dad, you listen to me, or else you're going to go down that wrong road and you will regret these bad decisions. As soon as you say that, you know what your child hears? I guess my mom or dad, they don't trust me to make the right decisions. So I don't know what's going to happen if they're not there. What's going to happen if they're not there to tell me what to do? And this is where you have, right, adult kids, 20s, 30s, 40s. Sometimes I was in my early 50s, and I would talk to my dad. My dad would, I'm an only child, so he'd always, tell me what to do. And sometimes I'd be like, well, why didn't I even ask him? Because I don't agree with that. Why aren't you tutoring Chelsea? She needs your tutoring. You're neglecting her. But I want her to be an independent learner. So back to listening. How do you get them to listen? Stop lecturing. Start listening. Be compassionate instead of, this criticism that we think are positive advice. My daughters say, is this going to be another life lesson? I think it sounds like mom's going to lecture. I'm not lecturing. I'm just sharing. Yeah, when you say I'm going to share, that seems like a lecture. So I'm learning as I'm parent coaching. Create a win-win. I'm realizing more when you create a win-win, that's when Chelsea asks for a hug. That's when she's listening. I don't know if she really I'm just declining that. There's a call from Georgia. I don't know, and I tell her, I don't know what you should do, but I trust that you'll be guided to doing what was meant to be. But if I don't know, you'll know. And I trust that you'll know. And that's it. And is it easy? When you think about it, if you stop lecturing, whenever you feel that knot, just take a deep breath. 5 of you have to, before you start scolding, before you start lecturing, before you start putting your 2 cents. And if they're doing something that you don't agree with, just say, so what's going on? And I hear things like, I'm just stressed, or I'm just hungry, or I'm just tired. And then I say, is there anything I can do? And sometimes I'm asked for a hug. Sometimes I'm asked, well, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? I don't know what I should do, and you're the mom. And then I say, just because I'm a mom doesn't mean I have all the answers. But all I can say is remember what I've told you. Every hardship is a blessing, and I'm not going to turn it into a lecture, but that one door closes. It truly is true, right? When your child is crying because they didn't get their dream job, if your child is crying because something they got reprimanded at work, if your child is crying because of maybe a divorce or something traumatic, the loss of a child, the loss of a loved one, a grandma, grandpa, my mom going through Alzheimer's, super, super tough on the family. And so we just listen. I'm going to end here saying, don't overpower it because you can. Inspire agreement. And lastly, don't manipulate or fear them into doing what we think they should do. So I thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on future Facebook Live topics, please message me. Let me know. It is not a magical manual, right? There is no magical manual. But I was brainstorming, and I'm thinking of doing parenting with Karen. And I'll just do little, since I miss doing those Instagram lives, Facebook lives. And I think sometimes all of us are inspired. And I want you to really, when you go deep, deep, deep down and you just listen, and, I talk a mile a minute. When I listen to my soul, I realize that parenting does not have to be the hard journey. And George West, yes, happy Cinco de Mayo, happy Boys Day. Drink a margarita tonight. I think I may just do that. I do have an interview tomorrow with a dad. His name is Fatty Daddy Hawaii on Instagram. Hope you just look forward to that interview. All the interviews I do pre-recorded, and so now I think I'm through the end of May. But I like having my little my little collection of interviews, so that every Tuesday I have one to release. So next Tuesday, watch this interview of a 7th grader. She is part of a youth climate change. It is worldwide, but she's the only one in Hawaii. Just one margarita then for you. Yeah, or maybe just half. I'll sip it, and I'll share it with Thomas. Maybe I can look up ways to have that kidney stone pass. And who knows? I don't think alcohol would do it, but maybe I'll just have him drink a lot of water, right? Liquids are really good for passing kidney stones. Thank you for watching, guys. And tell a teacher thank you. And Thomas needs 5. Yeah, I think so, especially with 2 female dogs, a female cat, 2 daughters, and a wife, and an Alzheimer's mother-in-law. Yes, I have been doing lemon juice. I looked up apple cider vinegar, which is really good. And I am going to go to Down to Earth right now and getting Stone Breaker. If any of you guys have kidney stones, there's a homeopathic, a tincture, and it's called Stone Breaker. And it truly works. This is his 3rd time having kidney stones. And it works, but you got to let it pass. You have to wait. And it's kind of like waiting to have a baby born. You have to wait for your kidney stones to give birth and go through the proper channels. So pray for my husband. Thank you so much. And if you would please follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate it. I said that fast. YouTube channel, Letting Go with Aloha. I also launched my Brain Builder website finally. My daughter revamped it, and it's called KarenTheBrainBuilder.com. And if you go to, I'm gonna post it, but I was interviewed Take 5 yesterday, right? And it's with Gina Crabtree, and she's substituting for Mike Buck, the answer. I don't see it live. I don't see the replay, but I will post that. So thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you, George, for being there with me the entire Facebook Live. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys are watching the replay, thank you. And I'll see you next week. Oh my gosh, you've had them twice? Yeah, Thomas is round 3. But you know what? He's still going to go golfing this Saturday. So maybe that's what he needs, right? A lot of walking when you play 18 rounds of golf. Okay, take care. Have a fantastic day. Cinco de Mayo to you, George. Have as many margaritas as you want to. Bye.